Alright. Well, now we're here. We're at Brazelton Cemetery, which is in Jackson County as well. But this cemetery has a whole lot of, I don't know what, a lot of history. This is where, sorry about that, the rough driving. You know what? In this big truck, I know I need to be a little more careful because while I'm trying to take a picture of the house, I'm running all over everything. I could run over anything, but thankfully I was stopped at a red light. I don't want to make you sick driving. We're gonna go back here to the back. But this is the Brazelton Cemetery, and this is actually inside in the city of Brazelton. And I don't know if you know much about, probably heard. I know you know who Kim Basinger is. When she was married to Lord, I done forgot his name. He was another actor, and I'll think of it later. But she bought this town from the Brazeltons. I can't remember why. I would have to research it, and I really don't have time. But if you're interested, you probably could. But she bought the town from Henry, and then she went bankrupt. And the Brazeltons really wanted it back. I think they regretted the move. I think it was just they were in more of awe of who was wanting to buy their town. But they did get, I believe they got the ownership back, if I'm not mistaken. But this cemetery, let me get back to the subject. This cemetery is where my grandmother is, my mother's mother. Her family, I don't know the connection, like what they did for each other or if there was business. I know my grandmother's family was decent people and good people. I don't know if they were in business or did business. Either way, there was some plots here that was given to the family to be buried here with the Brazeltons. And, my mom, she always knew about it. In fact, she knew all her life about these plots here. And I believe she may have had a little note, I'm not sure. But I know when she came up here, when she had to call and talk to Henry Brazelton. And, ironically, he was the mayor here forever. But Henry, he was willing to honor their family's promise, and my grandmother could be buried here. So my mother flew her from Jacksonville, Florida, to here, and brought her home. That's where she wanted to be, was home next to her family. So that's where we're at now, is with her. I think the only one of the regrets my mother had is instead of putting my grandmother's maiden name on there, Belle, she put the married name. And as evil as he was, I know it bothered my mom. She told me, she said, I wish I hadn't have done that, but I wasn't thinking when I ordered the headstone. So it is kind of odd to me too, but I'm not. Honestly, I don't know. I never understood why my grandmother didn't get rid of me herself. I believe I got it in me to protect, my children with any tool I have, whether it be a shovel, whatever I got in my hand. I mean, I could do some damage with a plastic spoon. But I don't know why. I'll never know why. I never asked. Growing up, there was things you just didn't ask. And there was one thing you did not do, and that was disrespect. So, whatever my mother brought her to live with us, and she allowed her father back in our home. And so asking questions about why was not going to happen. I mean, we were raised pretty strict, so that would not have been an option. And I wish I had known why. It would have been, I don't know, I sometimes it feels like maybe I'm a little different than my sisters, but I wanted to know why. You know, I think it's because I always had this just instinct about me to, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I watched animals and how they protect their young and how they'll just attack you if you go hurting their babies. And I just could not understand how a human who have babies could allow someone to hurt them brutally like that and know it and see it and do nothing. I still don't understand. And I never will. You know, and I quit coming out here after my mother passed away, and I did remember that I had told her I would come out here and bring flowers every once in a while, so I do need to get some flowers and bring them out to honor my promise for my mom, and I will. All right, let me hurry up and walk out here and show you real quick so we can shorten this up, because this has just been going on now, seems like for a while. But, you know, I wanted to give some history about, just a little history. Just, it's not all of it, and there's a lot that I'm going to try to live long enough to tell, because I think it needs to be told, because I never thought that you know, we would have someone in our family ever like we do, that just distort and turn and make ugly everything. I mean, there's a whole lot of ugly up in there, but there's a whole lot of good and strength in there as well. And unfortunately, that's not being, you know, the case. And I don't know why, but it bothers me. It bothers me bad. I cannot let it rest until it's right. And I don't know why I feel like this. I really don't. But I do know I have to do it. I feel like I need to do it, because I have to, you know, and I really, it's got to be the only reason I have been brought to this place. We could have moved anywhere in the United States. And here's where I landed. A few miles from where my mother was born. A few miles from where my mother had her baby. A few miles from where my uncle was beat so bad he died that night. Just a few miles of my family's history, really. You know, and I had been to Caves Cove, which has a lot of the Gregories at the Baptist church there, if you ever go in Tennessee, which is that a lot of them came here. This is where they came. Some of the descendants from there came here to Jackson County. So, and that's amazing to me. But when I went there, you know, it was just ironic. We walk in the back and we're looking at the headstones, and you know, I'm not, you know, I just seem to be a little nutty to begin with. I didn't realize there's a line of people behind us there to see the old headstones too. But you know me, and I can't sing. I'm singing, and there was this country song. These are my people. Well, you know, I thought it was just me and my husband, so I'm just singing these. I was embarrassed. But then we come across the people, my people, and I'm reading the headstone. One of the headstones that belonged to us was I don't recall if it was Charles or Russell. One of them is the father and one of them is the son. And they both fought in the Civil War, but they fought on opposite sides in that area of Caves Cove. And one of the son, there's two stories, and I have them both. There's two stories that the son set his father up for a cow. And then the other story was that he set him up, you know, just because he was the enemy. But either way, the father was shot and killed. And according to the book now, the actual book and history of Caves Cove it says that later the family forgave the son, and and I got to go home and look at it, but I got a handwritten history that one of the family members had given me after I moved up here, because they know I'm like a little chihuahua. I'm just gonna keep nipping till I get what I want. I got to know the truth. So anyway, that's Grandma that my mother brought home, buried, and loved. Just, she's amazing. My mom, her forgiveness level is beyond anything I could ever imagine. And Miss Alice here was my grandmother's mother, and her husband Ed, and I'm not even going down there. I think that was her brothers, two brothers. There's another brother, Hoyt Bell, who was he actually was the mayor of Houston, which is right next to Brazelton, and he built a store there. He was a businessman there, and I truly do not know where he is buried, but I'm sure it's here in Jackson County somewhere. I guarantee you that one. And I don't think he's out here, because I would have found him by now, because he's come out here a lot. This is a beautiful cemetery. It's nice and quiet, and it's got some beautiful figurines in here, big little statues that I love so much. They're so pretty, and the Brazeltons keep it real nice. And the old Brazeltons were very good people to me anyway. I don't know if they ever did bad dealings with other people, but they were good to me. They were kind and helpful, and probably still would be if he was alive. Lord, maybe I'll go up there and talk to the grave a little bit, see if I can't put some kind of good in my path. Because, it's not like walking down memory lane. Some of this family is like walking down evil lane. It's like you're tapping into something you're not quite sure if you want to. And in South Georgia, that's a whole nother kind, because that's where my actual grandfather is buried. And there's a pretty good story about how he got there too. But I'm gonna cut this one off and head on, because I really got to find something to eat. And if I think it's someplace on the way back. Oh, there is a place. I'm sorry, we got to stop by the old hospital. That's what we got to do. So I'll see you in a minute.